Hey everybody, so I just wanted to say welcome to all the new subscribers and everybody checking out the channel, either coming back or checking out for the first time. Um, as most of you guys know, the topics that are covered on this channel are everything from Let's Play games to observations, ASMR, motivation, different technology advice, whatnot. Now, what I want to talk to you guys about today is about how to deal with programming roadblocks and how to overcome them quickly, right? Because basically, as everybody knows, I'm doing double memory, which is going to be released on Steam soon. I'm wrapping up the final build in Game Maker Studio, so that way it's very, very stable, and then works with all the Steamworks SDK stuff. So it's gonna have achievements, cars, the whole thing. Um, but Game Maker language is different from Java, right? So I've been overcoming some hurdles with that, and there's actually some things I think might be beneficial to other people who are programming and maybe they hit like a roadblock or something in their program. So the first thing that I'd like to do is I slow down and I'll say, okay, well, let's just run the program, right? Either in debug mode or normal mode or whatever. And you look at what you got, and then you kind of say, okay, is it an error? Am I seeing an actual error show up in the like a fatal error where it pops up and it says that there's an error at a certain line? So maybe I'll write down that line, or I'll open up Notepad and I'll copy and paste the whole thing into it. Kind of just remember that. But let's say there's no error, but sometimes in programming there's not a simple set of directions to follow. It's almost like you have to create your own directions. And in previous videos, I've talked about like taking pen and paper and writing your own checklist of things to do. But sometimes you may be at a part where it's like, this is different from this. I'm not exactly sure what to do. So this is something that I think will add value to anybody is slow down and write down exactly what you're trying to do. Almost like you're saying, I wish I could, let's say it's, I wish I could make it so something moves when something else triggers it from an array, right? And then okay, well, let's look at that statement. You want something to move when there's some kind of trigger from an array. Okay. Now, but you wrote it down. That's what you want. Now what you can do is you can break that down even more and then be like, okay, well, I wanted to do this, but what am I already doing right now? Let's say you already got an array set up, okay? What's stopping that array from connecting to with whatever you're trying to do? Well, that's happening because I'm getting some kind of error saying that it doesn't exist even though I know it exists. Okay, now you're zooming in more detailed, right? And then so from there, you can be like, well, if you think it exists, you wrote the code, but the programming language says it doesn't exist, what's happening? Take a look at your classes. Is it being called from like a class, or if you're in Game Maker Studio, is it being called from an object? Is it being called from an object that's different from the object it's created in? Things like that, and then really kind of dig deep and then write things down so you really specifically have a wish list for yourself for exactly what you're trying to do. And by it's actually related to those things where people put those boards up of what they want in life or whatever, and then they can work towards it every day. It's not like they're in some kind of fantasy thing. What it is it's a reminder. And that's something I was talking about on Twitter, right? If you're in sales, right? Let's say you're a salesperson. Okay. you're trying to sell a lawnmower. Okay, you're a lawnmower salesperson, and you have all these lawnmowers. You have some customers coming in, and stop for a second if your sales are struggling, right? And have you ever had a family member or a friend or a loved one remind you to do something? And you're like, oh yeah, I forgot to do that. And you're like, thanks for reminding me, right? Sometimes people can remind things too much and then it's nagging or it's unpleasant. But sometimes it's like, oh yeah, thanks for reminding me, right? Okay. Do you think that maybe your customers at your lawnmower shop maybe have the same thing where they need to be reminded of things? So by asking for the sale, so let's say you got the lawnmower bag, you got them the lawnmower gas, you got them the lawnmower, insurance, you got them all these things. I'd like to sell you this right now. Let's get you rung up. Oh yeah, great, let's do that. You might gave him that reminder, get him over the hump. You can't. So and then there's assuming the sale and there's making the sale. The same thing with those vision boards, right? They're asking for the sale of saying they want that house, they want that new computer, 10-speed bike with brakes and shocks, right? They got that on their board, right? They're asking, they're reminding themselves they want it, they're looking for it, And then same thing with programming, where you're basically, by writing down what it is you're trying to do, you're asking yourself, your subconscious or whatever, for the sale. You're saying, what am I trying to do right now specifically? You might actually find out that you thought you were trying to do one thing, but you actually really wanted to do something else. And so that happens where it's like, well, I wanted to do this. You're like, oh, wait, I can't even do that yet unless I set something else up. So I hope that kind of helps visualize things a little bit for anybody who's doing programming, and maybe a little bit of a little pep talk there. And hope you're having a great day, and talk to you soon. Bye.